Let the games begin.
Like I said, a little back, gamification is bringing what in-games makers do stuff for nothing to real life. This creates something called engagement. Engagement is the the capability, when you are engaged in something, you're really there, you're really focused.
In the zone.
In the zone, yeah, kind of something like that.
It's hard to explain, it's something you experience.
You feel, yeah. The term gamification was coined by Nick Pelling in 2003, so gamification is already kind of old, though not that old.
Not yet mature.
Yeah. It was born after people started to understand what I've explained a couple of minutes ago. There is hard work in games, and people are doing it voluntarily. They have no compensation for it. They have some kind of compensation, but that's all about the mechanics of gamification in games. We have here a video from Extra Credits, right?
No?
No?
It's not from Extra Credit.
What is it?
It's a small video. About 2 minutes.
So what is gamification? If you think gamification is the latest gizmo, you're wrong. Gamification is applying game mechanics or game dynamics in a non-game context. The biggest non-game context right now is enterprises. More and more businesses are using gamification to engage both their customers and employees. Gamification can engage customers through incentives, rewards programs, leaderboards, badges, points, or simply free stuff. These incentives motivate people to complete actions. The actions can be anything from making more sales calls to working out. Every industry is introducing gamification in some way. Some of the top uses are education and training, healthcare, B2B marketing, or sales teams. The uses are endless. Gamification can be integrated with e-commerce sites, CRMs, and websites. The data it produces is big. Analyzing your big data from gamification is important and can point out flaws or changes you can make to your business. It can also tell you what is working. Gamification is available through SaaS or consulting, and the pricing models can range from licensing to user base. To find out which gamification
He was starting to sell his fish, so it doesn't matter that much.
Okay, this is one definition that Bunchball, which is a company who works with gamification, their definition is gamification is the process of taking something that already exists and integrating game mechanics into it to motivate participation, engagement, and loyalty. There are a lot of
Ways to apply?
definitions sometimes.
Okay.
There are a lot of definitions for gamification. If you start reading the specialists about it, each one of them probably has a very personal definition. So
the core idea is, well, it's this basically.
Yeah.
This is the core idea of gamification.
game mechanics in real life. Yeah. Well, where it can be used, we have three main areas that we've chosen to give some examples. We have marketing, companies, and education. These are the three main, I would guess,
niches.
Yeah. Well, marketing. Nike Plus Fuel Band. This, let's call it experience, is over. Nike ended it. It was created jogging.
I guess we can say that smart devices have come with integrated gamification mechanics.
Yeah, but that was the point of the band. They wanted that to work like that. This Nike Plus Fuel Band, it was like more than $100. It was not quite cheap. and a lot of people bought it. It created
Metrics.
it had metrics that you could check, but
Challenges.
yeah, you had goals, you had objectives defined. You could define. You could compete with other runners. You could check their results. Because I forgot to say that this band had an app for the smartphone where you could interact with the information. There's a lot of bands right now. Nike ended theirs. I think they started to see that competition was getting too much. Probably they weren't making much money with it, so they stopped. We have Coca-Cola Shake It. I found this very interesting. In Hong Kong, Coca-Cola started distributing an app for teenagers in which at certain point in the evening there was a commercial on TV, going on TV. And at that time, they were told to enter in the app and shake their phone. They would earn points with that activity, and those points could be traded for discounts and prizes in Coca-Cola's partners. It's kind of an interesting experience. Queres falar bocado? Okay, so we have Heineken Star Player. Heineken is a football patrocinador. Sponsor, okay, thank you.
That makes beer.
Yeah. While during the football games at the interval, break time, what?
Break time, I think.
Sometimes I forget the words, but okay.
You got the
People could answer some questions. On the beginning of the game also, they could predict who would score the first game. The first game would be by shot with the left foot. It would be a header, and they would earn points that in the final of the game, they could see their score and compare it. It's another interesting experience.
On to companies.
Companies. Blue Wolf uses a system of gamification to motivate their employers. This is not a specific. In companies, it's more difficult to find explained examples because generally they don't want the competition to use them, so it's very closed. You have companies that work in gamification towards companies, especially, but they don't market a specific model. They create a specific experience to a specific company. But Blue Wolf does it. You can go to their site and check it. Then we have the Deloitte Leadership
Before you
yeah.
go further, I think maybe since gamification is kind of new, most companies are not ready to accept it as it is. They think it's about gaming, so if we implement gamification in our company, maybe our employees will spend way too much time playing games instead of working. And that's maybe a closed-mind concept that it's up to people who want to implement gamification to disrupt.
Deloitte Academy, Leadership Academy. Deloitte has some courses that they teach to their own employees in other companies. So since they wanted to improve the numbers of people who went there to their website to make the courses, to be in the courses, and they wanted to increase the number of users returning to the site each week, they started using gamification. It improved the results in 37%. Now, education. These two, it's especially close to home because I teach software development, and these are kind of funny. Do you want to start Code Combat? Place a couple of levels Yeah.
Really.
Paulo doesn't know much about software development, so this is a good chance for him to learn something. So you have a chance to play, and this really looks like a game.
It's in
You
Portuguese.
choose a world, you have to unlock the other world, so start at the beginning, right?
I think we should first
What?
find out where we can change this to English.
I don't know.
You don't know Portuguese, do you?
Yeah, it's gonna complicate.
Ah, yeah.
Ah,
I'm kind of blind. Or dumb.
okay. Syntax methods, parameters. It even has sounds.
It's my first time exploring this, so
That's
I have
the
no idea what I'm
exact point of it. Say,
For the win!
choose your languages.
language.
Oh, your language. Yeah,
Oh,
JavaScript.
Java.
Okay. So you have items. These items give you special skills. They're explained on the right.
Of course. Grab the treasure. You can use these methods.
So you have a list of methods.
Your code on the right.
Oh. I guess he has to move down.
What?
He has to move down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts easy. I think.
Okay.
Done.
I won the game.
You've earned some. Okay, click that. You've earned some experience. You've earned some gems. Well, they really made the game out of this. It's an interesting tool. I showed this to my students after a while. I kind of lost them because they were so focused on the game. A couple of them, not all of them. But I think it's
Engaging.
it's a good way to approach software development because software development has a high curve. A learning curve is not that easy. For students to be engaged in the subject, it's quite complicated, so this helps. Next, we have Duolingo. Anyone knows this? Okay. So Duolingo is an app to learn a foreign language. It totally gamifies the concept. Do you want to show it? There's an interesting aspect in Duolingo. All the translations are made by volunteers.
It's a crowdsource platform.
Yeah. Crowdsourcing. We're not going to approach the concept, but I'll explain the concept. Like, imagine you know the concept of brainstorming, right? Now think about an enlarged experience. Thousands of people answering to some problem that creates a powerful problem-solving what? Solution. Okay.
Here, basically, we can use this as an example.
Okay. We have a player here? Okay. You can set the time that you play. Not now, yeah. Are you new to Portuguese?
I am.
Yeah, okay. So, this it starts very simple. But it doesn't give you an answer. It doesn't tell you, okay, this is a mulher, this is o homem, this is o menino. Doesn't it? You have to guess what the boy means.
You know.
I don't know.
You know
I'm
what,
new to Portuguese.
You know what the boy is.
Come on. Yay. Finish the level. Come on, come on. Now you have sound, so you can pronounce the word. Now you have to write, so you can understand the sentence. This is Brazilian Portuguese.
The girl.
A menina.
Uma mulher.
Sou homem.
Não consigo.
You failed, man. You
I
don't
am
know
man.
Portuguese.
I am man. I don't know English. We cannot guess.
Continue. You can go back. You can't go back. You've learned. And then you reach, get experience, you didn't
Gamify.
fail a lot. Then you can create a profile. Create a profile later, doesn't matter. But go to next. Okay, now you have the different levels. You have to finish the basics. Then you get to basics 2 and phrases, then food. They have a very interesting structure that allows you to learn the language well, in a easy way. And as you notice, they let you define the time that you use the app, 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes, you choose.
Not only engaging, but also a key word for gamification is that it should be fun.
Yeah.
A fun way to learn.
Next, Medieval Swansea. This is gamification. If you noticed, in education, Code Avengers, Code Combat, and Duolingo are they are games, serious games. There's a difference. I'll explain that later, right?
It's coming.
Okay. After I'll explain this better.
After the
But
break.
they are serious games. In this case, this is really gamification experience. You're going to be a detective who is going to solve a mystery in Swansea. While doing so, you will learn history of Swansea City. Now,
I think it's time.
for what? Não. Não. Não é agora.
Oh, break.
Não é às 3h30.
Ok. Não viste isto? Disseste para tirar aqui.
Não, não.
This is a private joke.
Yeah,
He
kinda.
said this. He said
I
that
said that.
phrase last week,
So-
and I added here. And it was a joke, and he didn't remove it. So.
You shouldn't put it there. Okay. So, yeah.
He's
So we
quoting-
have games and we have gamification, but they're not really the same thing. The main difference is very simple. Games exist to entertain, but gamification has a purpose related to productivity. We want to get something from gamification, something that we can use in a way. It's not just entertainment. It's not entertainment at all. I was talking about games when back there I thought about Duolingo and the Code Combat. There are 3 different concepts of games. Not serious games have a lot to do with gamification, but it's kind of the inverse. In serious games, we have a game that teaches. You play the game and you learn. The objective is to learn. In gamification, you bring the game to real life. You implement the concepts of the game in gamification. It's kind of, they're cousins, let's say so. Alternative reality games. Anyone here knows what alternate? Not a what. Anyone here knows what this is? This is very interesting.
Yeah, there was one.
Really?
The name of it.
Tell us.
I forgot it, man.
Okay, no problem.
I know the
Yeah,
genre
yeah. The
in
concept.
that sense, yeah.
I've read some crazy stories because of alternate reality games. This is a game that's played in real life, but creates a setting like imagine the Swansea mystery. You would be a detective and you would receive clues. For example, one of the rules of alternate reality games is that the game starts and nobody knows that it started. There's a clue somewhere and you find it for example, one of the Batman movies had a number written on the sky, phone number. Then some viewers phoned to that number, made a call to that number, and they started to listen a man kind of sobbing and giving them some clue that he was locked out somewhere and they should do something. So then they would have to go somewhere to find the clue in that spot. That clue would send them somewhere else. It's a collection of clues that people is going to solve. This involves email, phone calls, even messages. I've read once about a guy who had to be, because of one of these games, at phone booth in some city. Okay, the phone call was like at 5 p.m. and the guy was waiting, but the problem is there was a hurricane coming to that city, but the guy was waiting for the phone call. So this is very addictive, this kind of games. But this is not gamification. This is a game. This is to entertain, but it can be used to gamification. You can use the same concepts. Yeah, it's one mechanic that can be used in alternate reality games. It's a very interesting concept. It's not very well known, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, but geocaching is can
mechanic?
Can be not a mechanic.
No.
By itself, it's a game.
Kinda.
You are a player in the wild searching for the item.
The last one that it was really spread was catching Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon Go. Yeah.
That's not an alternative reality game.
No. That has to do with augmented reality. It's not.
That's a game.
Yeah, it's a game. It's a game, but it could be used not as a game, but as a gamification experience. Can
Anyone here sees Black Mirror?
that's
No? Black Mirror.
the series. Very good. Last season
There's at
was-
least an episode where they use this concept of alternative reality games. The
What?
one with this kind of
Spoiler.
not spoiler, but yeah, it's a spoiler. But, the kid that was a pedophile.
Okay.
He gets a phone call telling him to go get his bike and deliver a package,
Yeah.
and they go and rob a bank.
They met people in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm,
In that case, it's used
disturbing.
in a kind of weird way, but there are good ways and positive ways to use alternative reality games.
About bad ways, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Good gamification experiences. We'll show you a movie about Zombies Run, an app to make people run.
Another one. Another one.
Another one, but this is funny. And
We had a zombie attack last night. You know, we need whatever you can find.
Collected in bottled water, a radio in your box of batteries. 2.4 kilometers, 17 minutes.
Nazis attacked a nearby farmhouse. The survivors are on the roof. We can't just leave them there to die. Something's going on in those labs. We need you to investigate. What you find could save lives. Even in the zombie plague, I have to go in alone.
5 kilometers, 29 minutes. Zombies detected.
They spotted you! Run! Bye! Shit, you lost them. Come on home, Runner 5. We're one step closer to saving the world.
It's all in your head.
Run for your life.
And legs, yeah.
This creates the most important thing about this is the story gives a meaning to you running, so I think it's interesting.